Welcome to the Allied Airpower podcast, NATO's sole broadcast that patrols the full spectrum of air, space, and cyberspace. Wherever you serve, consider this your ground truth for alliance activity above the clouds, beyond the atmosphere, and across the digital domain.
Headline: The Royal Air Force kicks off their multinational exercise Cobra Warrior. From September 12 to October 3, 2025, the UK Royal Air Force will host its multinational exercise, Cobra Warrior. Allied forces from Canada, Italy, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States have come together at Royal Air Force Waddington, United Kingdom, for this large-scale, multinational exercise. The operation focuses on a high-end spectrum of war fighting and is deliberately designed to be challenging for all participants. Group Captain Ray Morley of the Royal Air Force stated, "Cobra Warrior is one of our combat air collective training events where we practice in the joint space and alongside our allied partners in defeating peer threats within a contested, degraded, and operationally limited environment at a time and place of our choosing. Cobra Warrior is designed to enhance interoperability and increase combat readiness, building a stronger and more agile alliance. The aim of the exercise is to develop the joint mission planning, integration, and tactical skills of all participating aircrew and supporting elements within a composite air operation environment, also known as COMAL. To safely execute training in this demanding environment, Cobra Warrior provides valuable opportunity for all force elements to practice and develop tactics, techniques, and procedures, also known as TTPs, in complex scenarios against a capable adversary. Allied fighters, transport aircraft, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platforms, commonly abbreviated as ISR, and the US B-52 Stratofortress are among the many assets participating in this iteration of Cobra Warrior. These contributions provide participants with opportunities to further enhance Allied interoperability and integration during complex mission scenarios. The Cobra Warrior series offers Allies realistic combined air operations, where crews operate in complex and congested air environment. These challenging scenarios are specially designed to strengthen cooperation and sharpen combat readiness, building a more agile and resilient alliance. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the UK Royal Air Force. Published September 16, 2025.
Headline: Danish-led Arctic Light 2025 strengthens Allied readiness in the High North. The Danish Armed Forces launched exercise Arctic Light 2025 on September 9, bringing together over 550 personnel from Denmark and NATO allies for high-intensity training in and around Greenland. Running until September 19, the exercise underscores NATO's commitment to collective defense and Arctic security. Arctic Light features naval, land, air, and special forces components. Denmark has contributed the frigate HDMS Niels Juel, F-16 fighter aircraft, helicopters, transport aircraft, and home guard units. France has deployed a naval vessel, a multi-role tanker transport aircraft, known as MRTT, and mountain infantry equipped with drones. Sweden, Norway, and Germany are providing personnel, observers, and logistical support. Allied forces are training in live fire drills, special operations, sea rescue exercises, and cold weather operations to enhance interoperability in demanding Arctic conditions. Operating in Greenland poses unique challenges. Danish F-16s are conducting sorties from Kangerlussuaq and Patuffik Space Base, with air refueling provided by a French MRTT aircraft, demonstrating Allied flexibility over vast distances. These operations provide invaluable experience in flying advanced fighter aircraft under typical Arctic conditions. A key component of Arctic Light has been civil-military cooperation. The exercise includes large-scale search and rescue drills off Greenland's coast, testing coordination between military forces and Greenlandic authorities. These efforts are designed to improve preparedness for crises in the North Atlantic and Arctic region, where climate change and increased activity present new risks. By training across air, land, sea, and civil domains, Arctic Light 2025 reinforces NATO's defensive posture and Denmark's role as a frontline ally in the High North. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the Danish Royal Air Force. Published September 18, 2025.
Headline: NATO aircrews reinforce rescue readiness in Lithuanian-led exercise. From September 15 to 19, 2025, Allied air forces and maritime units from Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, and Lithuania conducted joint sea survival and rescue operations in Lithuanian territorial waters as part of Exercise Baltic Bikini 2025. Designed to simulate emergency aircraft water landings, the annual exercise provided realistic, scenario-based training for aircrews operating over the Baltic region. Participants trained in both pool-based and open-sea environments, rehearsing egress from submerged cockpit simulators, deployment of life-saving rafts, and coordinated rescue responses under operational conditions. A Lithuanian naval ship and Mi-8 helicopters, alongside a shallow waterboat team and divers from an underwater operations unit, supported the drills. The presence of Air Force rescue helicopters ensured that aircrew were recovered under authentic maritime conditions, enhancing multi-domain integration between air and naval assets. Baltic Bikini focuses on aircrew survival after an aircraft ditching, particularly scenarios involving cold water, strong currents, and limited visibility. Training included communication with rescue forces, signal use, survival in immersion suits, and extraction by hoist from rescue helicopters. Though water landings are rare, their life-threatening nature makes such preparation essential for air personnel regularly flying over maritime terrain. Initiated in 1999 with the Royal Danish Air Force, and hosted rotationally by the Baltic states since 2004, Baltic Bikini enables interoperability among NATO's eastern allies. Historical iterations have seen aircrew from various NATO nations, including technicians, medics, and loadmasters, undertake critical training in survival and coordination. In addition to individual tasks, crews executed team-based movements from crash sites to rescue points while maintaining communication with air and naval rescuers. This year's exercise reinforced the alliance's ability to execute coordinated rescue operations with a focus on aircrew readiness. Baltic Bikini 2025 further demonstrated NATO's commitment to regional security through multinational cooperation, highlighting the vital role of Air Force personnel in ensuring rapid response, survivability, and joint operational integration. The name of the exercise has its origin in Denmark. Having started these sea rescue exercises, Denmark named it Bikini because at that time, exercises with names beginning with the letter B held a special status, and the word bikini aptly reflects work in water. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the Lithuanian Air Force. Published September 22, 2025.
Headline: NATO Days in Ostrava mark 25 years with focus on Allied air power. The 25th NATO Days in Ostrava and the 16th Czech Air Force Days were successfully launched over the weekend of September 20th and 21st, 2025. Nearly 100,000 visitors witnessed about half of the 19-hour program, during which more than 90 dynamic demonstrations took place. NATO Days in Ostrava celebrated its 25th anniversary with a strong focus on Allied air power and modernization. Slovakia's new F-16 Charlie and Delta Block 70/72 fighter aircraft made their international debut at the show, underscoring the country's transition from aging MiG-29s to advanced multi-role warplanes, fostering even greater interoperability with Allied air forces. So far, the Slovak Air Force has received 5 of 14 ordered F-16s, with the remainder expected by 2026. Portugal presented its K.C-390 Millennium transport aircraft, capable of carrying up to 26 tons of cargo or 80 troops and operating from unpaved runways, demonstrating NATO's growing capabilities in agile combat employment, also known as ACE. The Czech Republic has industrial participation in the KC-390 program, making the aircraft a possible candidate for the Czech Air Force's future transport fleet. Dynamic aerial displays featured Allied aerobatic teams, including Britain's Red Arrows, Turkey's Turkish Stars, and Croatia's Krila Oluye. Italy contributed both a flying demonstration of the AV-8 Bravo Harrier II and a two-seat TAV-8 Bravo trainer for static display, while the Eurofighter Typhoon and F-35 Lightning highlighted fifth-generation capabilities. The event also showcased ongoing NATO modernization efforts in air defense, with exhibits of radar, electronic warfare, and passive surveillance systems. Static and dynamic presentations underlined how allies are integrating new technologies to strengthen deterrence and readiness. NATO Days in Ostrava and Czech Air Force Days have grown into one of Europe's largest security shows, bringing together allies and partners to demonstrate cooperation and interoperability. This year's edition reaffirmed NATO's defensive posture, highlighting the alliance's collective strength in the air domain. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the Czech Air Force. Published September 22, 2025.
Headline: Allies demonstrate agility during tactical airlift, with first-ever landing on Volcanic Island in the high north. In a recent deployment, a United Kingdom Royal Air Force A400 transport aircraft landed for the first time on Jan Mayen, Norway, delivering a United States Marine Corps Joint Light Tactical Vehicle from a pre-positioned location in Norway. Jan Mayen, a remote volcanic island in the Norwegian Sea and part of Norway's sovereign territory, hosts a station that supports the Norwegian Cyber Defense and the Meteorological Institute year-round. The deployment included Norwegian Armed Forces, United Kingdom Royal Marines, and United States Marines. The High North remains strategically vital for NATO, serving as a gateway between North America and Europe and a key arena for securing transatlantic supply routes. Regular Allied activity in the region demonstrates NATO's commitment to safeguarding freedom of navigation, ensuring access to critical sea lines of communication, and maintaining credible deterrence in an increasingly contested Arctic environment. Vice Admiral Rune Andersen, chief of the Norwegian Joint Headquarters, said, "Operating jointly with allies demonstrates both capability and commitment to defend Arctic islands, the high north, and surrounding waters if required." The waters around Jan Mayen are vital to NATO in terms of securing international sea lines of communication and transatlantic supply routes. Andersen further stated, "Our strength lies in our ability to integrate capabilities across domains and among NATO allies. Regular Allied training and operations in Norway ensure readiness across all seasons and in times of crisis or conflict. This contributes to collective security and credible deterrence against future aggression. NATO remains a defensive alliance, but one always ready to respond if challenged." Weather and terrain proved demanding. Operating on Jan Mayen requires meticulous planning. Resupply is difficult, so everything, from clothing to rations and ammunition, must be carefully considered in the initial deployment. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the Norwegian Royal Air Force. Published September 23, 2025.
That wraps up this flight of the Allied Airpower podcast, where news-driven updates meet the authentic voices behind the mission to defend every inch of NATO territory. Until our next sortie, stand ready in the air, secure in cyberspace, and steadfast on our path to the stars.